got a bit of a twist on the traditional pizza.
I have. I'm doing a Turkish lahmacun pizza. So it sounds like it's a fusion food, but it's actually not. It's a traditional Turkish Armenian-style pizza. Ooh. So it's a flatbread, and I'm going to talk about the bread in a second, but I'm first going to talk about the star of the show, which is the topping, as with any pizza. So I've got some lamb mince here, just normal lamb mince from the supermarket. I'm going to add to that some great spices. So I've got some chopped chilli and some garlic there, some salt and pepper, a bit of cumin and paprika, a bit of coriander and sumac. That's the more mysterious one, if you like, sumac. I think I've put it in shawarma for you last year. Yes. But it's that sort of citrusy flavour. It's really, really nice.
Is it easy to get hold of?
Everywhere, in all the spice aisles.
Okay.
And then some sesame seeds.
Lovely.
So I'm just going to bung these into there with the lamb. It's really as simple as this. Now, you've got to use your hands for this. Don't be shy, just get your hands involved in there, because otherwise you can't really mush it together. If you used a food processor or something like that, you'd blend it to a paste.
And
you
that's
don't,
no good.
no
you
good
don't
for
want
this.
that.
Just got to sort of toss it together with your hands. Sort of pinch the spices into the meat, get it all involved, and then you've got a perfectly flavourful and well-distributed lamb topping.
Lovely. That looks great.
So it's great, and it smells.
I love Turkish food.
Do you?
Oh, I love it. It's fantastic. Good. We've got brilliant little Turkish restaurants in Dundee, and they are amazing. Oh,
you'll love this then.
I will.
You'll really love this, because it's. And the thing is, you can use homemade bread dough, which I'm going to do, and the recipe for that is online. But a great tip is just to use those canisters of dough you can get in the supermarket.
Oh, yes, yes,
They sort of pop open. Never ever use a bread dough that's sort of a pizza base that's ready made, because it'll burn in the oven.
Ah, right.
So this is my bread dough, and it's risen after a good hour or so of resting, and then I'm going to divide that, or I have divided that into 6. So I'm just going to take one for now. And I'm going to roll this out in a bit of flour, of course, because you've got to roll bread out in flour. But another great tip is to use semolina or polenta, because that sort of golden, crusty grain, it gives a real great crust and crunch. To the actual pizza. A bit of colour as well, yeah, and it just makes it a bit more posh.
I like that.
A bit posher.
Posh is good.
And this is great for the weekend as well. It's and they will last in the fridge for a couple of days too. So because this recipe makes 6. So if there's only 2 of you or 4 of you, of course you can have them all if you wanted to.
Tell me, yeah, I will.
Bit of a Friday night feast. Or you could put them in the fridge and reheat them in a nice hot oven the next day. But they'd be great, great for the weekend. So roll this out. Not too thinly, because you want them to be quite puffy, quite thick, so you can dip them into a bit more hummus. So that's about right. I'm happy with that. And before I assemble, what I'm going to do is get it onto this baking sheet. Now, I've got another baking sheet in the oven. If you've got a pizza stone, get that in the oven and get the oven really, really hot. Because the lamb topping I'm not going to cook until it's on the bread in the oven. It's all cooked together. So you've got to make sure that you get the oven really, really hot. So I've got another baking sheet in the oven. This one here. Now, instead of passata, because that's Italian, we're in Turkey now, I'm going to use hummus for the base. You can. You can, and I will. You can, and I will.
You're just going to.
Just going to do it. Well, I don't know, you can do now. A bit of hummus on the base of that. Not too much, because obviously it'll get a bit hot and melty everywhere. That's not a bad thing. So a bit of hummus on there. And then all I'm going to do is just get this lamb mince, this flavourful lamb mince, and sort of crumble it. You don't want to pack this down onto the pizza, otherwise there'd be too much and it wouldn't cook through properly. So just a little flake of this flavourful lamb like that, just a little bit more.
That looks really good. And they're cute. I love these little individual pizzas.
Oh, I do too. It's more reason to have more than one, isn't it, when they're little.
And that's fine.
That's fine. So on with the lamb, and then all I'm going to do is just wash my hands again quickly.
Of course.
And then just crumble on some of this feta cheese.
Oh, I love this. This is perfect combination,
isn't it? It is, because it offers that really salty hit as well. So, and it melts a little bit, but it doesn't go like soggy and, and gooey. It sort of just goes soft, doesn't it, feta cheese? So on with that. So I remind you, I've got that pizza stone, or well, I've got a baking sheet in the hot oven, really, really hot oven. So get your pizza moving on the baking tray like this, and then trundle over to the oven with a rumbling tummy, and just slide it in and onto that hot tray. And what that does is that acts like a pizza stone, so it gets it really, really hot on the base. It starts the pizza base cooking, and you get a really gorgeous, puffed up, flaky, crunchy, succulent pizza.
How long do you have to keep that in there for to make sure the lamb's cooked?
12-15 minutes. Make sure I mean, that'll cook in 5 minutes.
It's small? Because it's small.
Exactly. And the oven's really, really hot too. It's on 250.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a pizza oven.